Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. This is Isaac News and today we want to be talking about the West African Gas Pipeline. Okay, this is a project that is being sponsored and championed by the Nigerian government and the Moroccan government, and another deal being championed by the Nigerian government and the Algerian government. So in the gas pipeline that is currently being put into place, we have the first one um, on the West African coast. Moving all the way from Lagos, from Nigeria, along our West African coast, all the way up to Morocco. That one is called the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline, or the West African Gas Pipeline, which is going to cost about $25 billion, to build. Then we have the second one moving up to the northern hemisphere. We have from Nigeria through Niger, then down to Algeria. So that is the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline, or the Nigeria-Algeria Gas Pipeline. This will cost us about $13 billion to build. Now, the reason why this Algeria and Morocco have been chosen as the final destination is their proximity to Europe. So Europe is a huge market, is a crazily huge market that has huge potentials, and the African community can seek to benefit from the ever expanding market in Europe. So because of the war in between Russia and Ukraine, which are two of the top energy energy giants in the world, it has affected the supply of gas in Europe. So Europe has been looking around for alternative sources of clean energy, energy that will not be very disadvantageous to the environment. So today we want to talk about the West African Gas Pipeline and the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline. So just sit down and enjoy the rest of today's video. So we're going to begin by talking about the Nigerian-Morocco Gas Pipeline, also known as the West African Gas Pipeline. So this gas pipeline is going to run along the western coast of the African continent. So Nigeria is a West African nation, it's a West African country amongst others. So this gas pipeline is going to run from Lagos State along the West African coast, and it's going to supply all West African countries along the shore, along the all the border nations on the West African flank, and it's going to move like that up to Morocco. So it's going to supply Burkina Faso, Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and Morocco. So we're looking at between like 10 to 12 nations, African nations, that this pipeline seeks to supply. Now remember that this pipeline is going to cost about $25 billion, and it's estimated to take about 10 years from start to finish. This is a huge project. In fact, to put the icing on the cake, this is the longest offshore pipeline in the world. This is the world's longest offshore gas pipeline. The Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline along the West African coast is going to be the world's longest offshore. Offshore means that it is not on land, it is underwater. The world's longest offshore gas pipeline. This is a huge feat. This is a huge feat by the Nigerian government and the Moroccan government. This is Nigeria intends to monetize and export more of its natural resources, which are now currently being exported by Nigerian Liquid Natural Gas, a joint venture between NNPC and international oil and gas majors. So it is planning to upscale the current amount of gas being exported. So as we speak now, Nigeria is already exporting gas to Europe and its West African brothers, okay? But our infrastructure right now is so little that we can export so little amount of gas. So this is why we sought this MOU between Nigeria and Morocco for this project to be set up so that it can help the African continent. So every nation stands to gain. Every nation stands to gain from all this project that is about to be executed. So according to the NNPC's executive, this huge pipeline will be built in stages. The first stage is expected to take 3 years to complete. Then the other phases of the construction will take 5 years to complete. So Nigeria plans to significantly boost its gas production and quadruple its output in the next 4 years. And this is very realizable. Now, if you think that we have an abundant reserve of oil, understand that our gas reserve is quadruple, if not quintuple, the amount of compared to the amount of oil reserve we have. So Nigeria is already a country earning so much from oil export. We can earn times 4 the amount of money we earn from oil export, from gas export. We have over 200 trillion cubic feet of proven gas. What that means is that we have found over 200 trillion cubic feet of gas. My question is, what of the ones we are yet to discover? Understanding that in the past decade alone, Nigeria has been, discovering new sites, new oil wells, new sites where oil has not been found. So whatever figure we had 10 years ago of, this amount of oil wells we have, it is increasing on a regular basis. So the amount of proven gas we have is 200 trillion. What of the one we don't know? So we have a crazy amount of potential that we can benefit from gas. Now, from the gas we're going to sell to our West African brothers and the one we're going to sell to Europe. Now, Europe is a huge market. The war between Russia and Ukraine has created energy spikes, and then it has also reduced gas supply. Why? Russia is the third largest producer of gas. Russia on its own supplies Europe with 30% of its gas needs. It is a major gas player in Europe. So when Russia decides to off the tap of gas, many European countries suffer, as they are suffering right now. Right now in Europe, many people are stockpiling firewood. They are falling trees, cutting trees to stockpile firewood. Why? This is winter, and it's going to get very cold over there in Europe. And these people need fire, or at least they need heaters to keep their rooms warm, or at least at room temperature. And you need gas to run all these things. In fact, in Europe right now, many European countries don't on street lights again. Why? They are trying to cut down gas usage. In many European countries, you don't on light at night. You off the light at night to reduce the amount of gas being used to, power all these infrastructure, all these houses and companies and the rest of these things. If you violate the new gas rules, you will pay through your nose. So there are now new laws in many countries in Europe of how you should spend electricity and how you should ration the electricity you use. If not, you pay a huge fine, because Russia is rationing the amount of gas it is supplying to Europe. So Europe does not want to become dependent on Russia. So they're looking for alternative sources. This is why they are running to Nigeria and to most African nations to provide an alternative supply of gas. And Nigeria is trying to step up to this task, which is why I'm commending them. It's going to cost us $25 billion. Imagine that money was embezzled and used to campaign and do other things. If they embezzle that money and push it into the Nigerian economy, it will enter your pocket and you'll be like, oh boy, there's money, there's cool cash, man. I'm enjoying. You'll be popping champagne and flexing. But when they deny us that temporary benefit and pump it into building this gas pipeline, in 1 year alone, we can make back that money. In 10 years, you can make billions of dollars from gas supply. In 15 years, you can even get, if not even up to trillions of dollars from gas supply to Europe alone. And then as we begin to stabilize, we can now even go deeper into supplying gas to the African continent. So this is a huge one. Then we have on the Saharan coast, so we have a gas pipeline from Nigeria going up north all the way up to Algeria. So if you know your map well, you know that Morocco and Algeria are the northern hemisphere. Morocco is the closest African country to Europe. Algeria is the second closest African country to Europe. And Europe is a huge market for energy, for gas. So Nigeria has partnered with both Morocco and Algeria to build pipelines and build substations in these countries, and from there ship this gas to Europe in exchange for money. So both of these countries have agreed. The Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, the Nigerian Algerian gas pipeline, is going to cost about $13 billion. I repeat, if that money was embezzled and was being pushed into your pocket, you will be feeling the effect. Things will be sweet for you now. But then, the amount of money we stand to gain in the coming years, we would not see it except we squeeze ourselves and invest in these kinds of very profitable investment. So this is an amazing one. The fact that we are building the world's largest offshore gas pipeline is enough to stand on your feet and clap for your country. Based on what has been said now, the future is bright for the Nigerian energy sector and for the Nigerian economy as a whole, because we're going to make a lot of money from selling gas to Europe. And as the African continent begins to also transition from local source of energy to gas energy, Nigeria will be well positioned to supply its African brothers with the amount of gas it needs whenever it needs it. With all this being said, Nigeria is already currently exporting gas, and it makes close to over $800 million. Okay, that's close to $1 billion from its current gas exports. And because gas prices have surged and skyrocketed, we are making 75% more than we made from gas last year. So this is huge. A lot of money is coming in order to hold the economy. The economy should have been worse than it is right now, but the current high crude oil price and high gas price has helped to mitigate some of the effects we have been feeling from the war in Russia and Ukraine, being that these two countries are countries that are key players in the world's economy. So this is an amazing one, and I'm saying kudos to the Nigerian government, kudos to the Moroccan government, kudos to the Algerian government, kudos to NNPC for spearheading this movement, and to all the stakeholders involved in this. You have our prayers, you have our blessings, you have our well wishes, and we pray that God Almighty would see this project to a successful completion. Now, how can we benefit from this news? This is where you begin to look into the trend. So Nigeria is beginning to become a tech hub. Many countries, especially India and China, are bringing their manufacturing base to Nigeria. Why? Cheap labor and low cost of production. So what a Chinese man will make in China for $5 and sell maybe $7, he will make it in Nigeria for $3 and sell $7, making a profit margin of what? $4 instead of a profit margin of $2. Now I'm using very small figures. Imagine these figures in billions of dollars. That's huge money. So many Chinese companies are coming to Africa. In fact, over 10,000 Chinese companies are coming to Africa. And of those 10,000, a greater percentage are coming to Nigeria to set up a base. Why? Nigeria is closer to Europe than China is to Europe. And Europe is a major consumer of Chinese products. So it would take Chinese people more money to make these things and more transport cost, shipping cost. But if they were to come to Africa and make it, it would take them less money because of cheaper labor and cheaper cost of production. And it would take them less shipping fee to ship this thing from whichever African country all the way down to Europe, which is why Nigeria is now popularly being known as Black China. And I think I should make a video about Nigeria being called Black China, because we're going to see the amazing prospect this nation has in the eyes of non-Nigerians. It's only Nigerians that think that we are a failed state and that we're in the most horrible position. Many European countries are beginning to see Nigeria as a global player in world economics and are beginning to leverage on this potential and see how to position themselves in a way to benefit from Nigeria's upcoming boom. Hear this and hear this well. The future is bright for this country. Whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, it's bright. And we will stand with this country all the way and see it attain the height that it desires. So this is the end of today's video. I hope I've been able to convince you that better days are ahead. So please like this video. Engage in the conversation about the prospect of the gas pipeline project. Share the video, comment. The reason why we like videos is so that the videos can have more engagement. So the more you like any video, especially our videos on this content, the more these videos will be shared by YouTube to other people, because YouTube will say, wow, this video is enjoyed by many. So YouTube will keep spreading it across. So please like this video so we can have more engagement on the internet. So till we meet again, pray for your country, pray for your leaders. Sit down and go through the videos on this channel so to give you a perspective or another angle to look at Nigeria. Because as long as you're hating this country, it will prevent you from seeing the good and reaping from it. But if you begin to see that despite all what is going on, that broken crayon still color. Nigeria is a broken nation, but it is still coloring in the most beautiful colors. Okay? I don't in any way mean that things are perfect or good. I'm saying we are trying, and we are seeing how to rise up out of the dust and ashes and build. And we will stand with this new Nigeria, and God will bless us. So I've I've finished saying all I want to say about this. Like this video, share, subscribe. Until we see again, remain blessed.